The Department of Energy will release another 15 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, extending our previously announced release through the month of December. We need to responsibly increase American oil production without delaying or deferring our transition to clean energy. Let's debunk some myths here. My administration has not stopped or slowed U.S. oil production.
Wow, really? Let's find out if that's true. Joining me now, my friend Brian Dean Wright of the Great President's Daily Brief podcast. I subscribe every day. You should subscribe. Actually, you only have to subscribe once. Never mind. I listen every day. Brian, Joe Biden hasn't done anything for our oil production. What are you talking about?
Oh, man, that guy, fake news and that claim. So, look, the bottom line from a permitting process and encouraging our oil and gas industry to drill, that's just not true. He is slowing down that process, and he is disincentivizing the oil and gas industry from drilling because, as he said, we're not going to stop in our desire for dirty green energy. We want solar and wind. We don't want any of that oil and gas stuff. So that is the big atmospheric condition, as it were, that's preventing a lot of folks in the oil and gas industry from doing what they want to do, which is they're being prevented from engaging in their development of oil and gas. So Biden's just not right when he says that.
Okay, I do find it funny that the president, actually, and all of his advisors, they all say the same thing. We need to get off this filthy, disgusting oil and gas, and we're going to screw those scumbags over the first chance we get. Also, hurry up and make more oil while we switch to solar panels. Do I have that about right?
Yes, we might say we're pushing on the gas pedal and the brake at the same time, which I'm not sure where most of us learned how to drive, but that's not usually how you do it because it ends up causing all kinds of problems. In this case, we got weird, crazy market conditions. We got this Inflation Reduction Act, which is really a climate change bill, hundreds of billions of dollars for solar. But by the way, we still need all that dirty, wonderful oil and gas. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, he also uses this line, they love using this throughout, of they're making record profits. Companies are making record profits. Are the oil companies making record profits? What's going on?
All right, so let's unpack this because Biden and his team continually attack three different groups of people: gas stations, refineries, and oil and gas companies. So let's start with the first one. Gas companies are not the boogeyman here, all right? They make about 2 to 5 cents per gallon off your gas when you go to a station. Most of the profits that they make are actually in the convenience stores. So let's just be very clear with that one. And about 60% of every single store you see, these gas stations, they're owned by a mom and pop outfit. So not a big corporate conglomerate. Second, the oil refinery issue. Biden has attacked these guys as well. But the issue here is we used to have 250 oil refineries in this country back in the 1980s. Today, it's half that number. So you have less capacity to make oil and gas and other petroleum products. So that's really the issue here. Plus, oil refineries right now are at 95, 99% capacity. So this is not a bunch of crazy refineries trying to squeeze out more profits. They may be making more profits, and they are, but that's because the oil and gas, I should say the cost for a barrel of gas and oil is up tremendously. So that takes us to our last boogeyman, of course, the oil and gas industry itself, the folks who pump it out of the ground. The thing is, they're not colluding to create the price of oil. It is a market-based decision. And that, of course, is being set by lots of different factors, from the war in Ukraine to, yes, there is an oil cartel called OPEC and OPEC Plus. Those are the folks that Joe Biden just really made angry a couple of weeks ago when he said, hey, don't cut oil production. They were like, nah, we're going to do it anyway. So the bottom line is there is no boogeyman other than market conditions, and Joe Biden is just flopping around trying to blame anybody but himself.
Okay, let's focus on the refining because that seems like the obvious solution to this problem. You mentioned we're at half the refining capacity now that we were just a few decades ago, and the refineries we have are maxed out at capacity. So why not make more refineries?
Yeah, great question. Those things cost billions and billions of dollars to build. It takes over a decade usually for those things to get permitted. So the question that any investor would ask is, hey, should I spend billions of dollars knowing that in this case, Joe Biden and the federal government want to shut down the oil and gas industry? They want to make sure that whatever I invest in eventually gets torn down because we're going to solar and we're going to wind, right? So why would you do that? You wouldn't. That's a crazy use of money. It's like if you were to build a house, but the inspector would be like, yeah, you can build it, but in 10 years, we're going to knock it down and you're going to get nothing for it. Would we build that house? Nope, we sure wouldn't. And investors don't want to do the same thing with refineries.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, The Forgotten Genocide, the first episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.